And there's the countdown, game one. And again, John, we talk about it here on this. Topping out's a real danger. You have to be smart with what you're doing on that top line early on in your stage. A slanted board for Octagon, but getting some really good quick one pill clears, already taking a 3-virus lead on the 1C.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be careful, as you say, on the top line. You want to address it very early on the following levels, because gravity is a real issue here. And I mean, it's also going to come down to who can keep on playing after these 2 long matches that we've had on the one side. Frank going all the way to five games, whereas Savage Octagon having to play 4 games and not having a lot of time to rest on her case. But yeah, we'll see who has the stamina to keep on playing and getting the championship.
And the furthest thing from your mind really should be even thinking about winning. Focus on your board. Don't even think about what the other player's doing here. It just, feel like you're going to be that champ, and remember, just have fun. As we hit a minute and 15 seconds, it's still a bit of a lead for Savage Octagon. Both players playing phenomenally well. Octagon has been playing consistently, and in the rare times we've seen a misdrop from her, she's been very, very smart about getting it addressed. Frank right now, being a buzzsaw though, has a good clean board. It's a bit slanted though. That right side's going to be problematic. The board's essentially split right now, as he's now cleared out another yellow virus out in row 3. Savage Octagon had to play a bit of a misdrop, it looks like, but she's got everything drilled down, and I really like this play. She's going to be down to 12 viruses, and now with a nice little combo. There's no frills in those combos, just getting it done. And that's going to be a 1 pill clear down to 8 viruses. Meanwhile, Frank's starting to address that Spire in column 7 and 8 rather, is starting to surge. He's down to 11. Octagon down to 4. Octagon going for that double clear. She's going to get it with the double red and another double blue. That's going to put Octagon out first and in the lead at 2 minutes and 15 seconds.
Yeah, Frank having to decide what to do with some double yellows in the middle of the game there, because he had that right side where basically it was all yellow at that point. But if you focus too much attention on that side, then you cannot clean the left side. And Frank is going to be out at 233 from level 13.
And Octagon having a bit of a yellow issue. She's getting things fixed up and tucking underneath to prevent drop time. Really smart play. It's a 10 virus lead for her as we approach 3 minutes. And I gotta say, Octagon, even with all of the nerves that you've seen, just absolute ice in her veins right now.
Yeah, she is just laser focused on this board and just making good plays. Every single play has been placed really well, and yeah, that's what you have to do when you're facing someone like Frank.
Oh, and Octagon seems to be upset at something. I didn't really see what happened there, but right now Frank is struggling big time.
Yeah, I think he's going for a fancy schmancy combo there. There we go. That's going to drop there, but that paralyzes your board, and Frank took the gamble, and well, that's allowed Savage to open up a 17 or now 15 virus advantage at this point.
Yeah, it's a big lead for Savage Octagon, and she's taking advantage of it. You hear her say, gee golly willikers, to that misplay, dropping that red down onto that double blue out in column 6. Doesn't seem to be affecting her that much, though. Again, she's still maintaining a good lead, and Frank, again, he seems to be leaning towards one side of the board, whether it's by a misplay or just by sheer decision making, but he has managed to narrow the gap down to 7. But Octagon now starting to surge here as she is starting to get onto those blues and starting to correct that mistake in column 6. It is an 8 virus lead as Octagon, again, with another with a series of horizontal clears, and is looking really good. Really wants to clear that red virus in 6.
And if she can get now a red yellow, there we go. That's going to help for the horizontal on that right side. And it's only one red pill for Savage Octagon to be out at 447. as Frank keeps struggling because he isn't getting much yellow so far, and that's what's paralyzed most of his board.
Octagon, not with a lot of red access. And again, once you hit 15, 16, 17, you're getting close to the very, very top of the board as far as the viruses will populate. You've got to be very, very careful. Sometimes you just may have to force garbage down just so you're getting that top line down a couple of rows.
Yeah, this is the point where a misplay that is inconvenient by the timing or by the placement can just make you struggle a lot, and it's mostly because it takes some time for a player to recover and realize that there was a misplay. So maybe it's not only one pill that gets played incorrectly, but a couple after that. So yeah, this is starting to get dangerous, but our players are managing it pretty well so far.
Octagon maintaining a double-digit lead, and she's got a very, speed-friendly board. A lot of one-pill clear opportunities as we see a horizontal there. The thing I'm noticing, though, is there is a completely empty row 1 and a darn near empty row 2. The big problem for Frank's board is he's got that air bubble in the center bottom of his board. That means for any sort of endgame situation, he's going to have to factor in just a touch of drop time. But those quarter and a half seconds so critical at that juncture.
Yeah, and it's going to be Frank having to address that left side, which is more clogged with viruses at this point. So as long as it doesn't become a big problem, that column 1 might be, because it's basically a traffic light and then on top of a split red double and a yellow double happening there. So it's an interesting situation. We'll have to see how Frank manages it.
It's a 2-virus lead right now for Octagon, and now Frank took the lead very briefly as Octagon's starting to go to work here. Octagon really needs a blue surge, and she can really start to get back in control here. She is up by 1 virus right now and really trying to make do. That having that bottom row is a bit of a blessing, but as we're seeing Frank starting to come back and make his move here, Frank really likes to get into that late game, but it does look like Octagon, if she wants it, has a horizontal triple, and it looks like we'll retake the lead as she's down to 3. Who's going to be out of here first? It's going to be Octagon. Likely she just needs the 1 pill. She's got it out at 725, and as we hit 725, we see 3 viruses left, but we're going to see a good combo by Frank needing just that last blue virus, and he is out at 733 as we get to the penultimate level 16. Again, you're going to see players being a little bit more meticulous at the start. Once there's a couple of levels down, that's when you start seeing the aggression.
Yeah, this is just the right combination of precision and aggression at the very top, and then it's they're going to just let it rip. As Frank setting up on that right side, which might be a bit dangerous if he doesn't get the right pills to just clear that double red on the right side.
I believe Frank is playing on medium, however, so he's got to be a little bit more flexible. But really, if you're Frank, you're looking for that double red. That's really a good play. And also looking to drop that for the double. But meanwhile, Octagon is just playing on and now has a bit more of a cushion. Not a lot of red access, which can be a problem. And really, it's mostly blue at that top line. It's a 5-virus lead for Octagon here as we approach the 9-minute mark here. You're looking for a good time in the 11 to 12-minute range. Octagon just trying to manipulate the garbage to get some stuff to fall in her favor. Down to 41, but it's a 37 virus count for Frank. He's in the lead, but a red heavy top line and a very slanted board. Not a lot to really speak of on that left side.
Yeah, Savage Octagon just getting frustrated at the RNG. She's not getting any of the pills that work at this point, and yeah, that takes a toll on you mentally. But it's just to think of waiting on this game and hoping that things will look much better in a little bit. Meanwhile, Frank.
Octagon looked to be setting up for a potential hero combo, but right now it is a double-digit lead for Savage Octagon as she's got a blue heavy top line, really starting to address things now. A lot of minimal drop time clears. We've seen her in this position before. Now it's an 8-virus lead for Frank as it's a good level board. If you are Savage Octagon, now down to a 5-virus has narrowed the gap back to 5 as Octagon has a bit of a split board, but nothing too terrible.
Yeah, needing some yellow both for those viruses in columns 2 and 3, and also for the garbage that's on top of columns 4 and 5 still. Yeah, this is just coming down to whether Dr. Mara will give her the right pills, or what will happen as Frank gets out of level 16 under 10 minutes.
I also really feel that Octagon is not taking time to address garbage. There was that stack of yellow right in the center of the board she took just until the last second to address. I think she would have been able to open up her board. But as we see here, as we hit 10.5 minutes, you don't want to be struggling through your end game here. This is giving Frank all the time he needs.
Yeah, I think that's the right play there to go for the horizontal, but definitely it's taking much more time for Octagon to get out of this level 16, about 10:38 there for Savage Octagon.
Octagon with a really nice top line, though, to start 17. There really wasn't a lot on that right side, so she could focus, and she's really starting to down press here, as it is a big lead for Frank. It is a 13 virus lead, but we're starting to see Octagon just play incredibly aggressively here, as we are getting to the final level here of our very first game. This is a best of 5, remember. And these players on the final level, 13-17. An Octagon currently down by 11 viruses. Frank has a red heavy slanted top line, air bubbles in the bottom of his board, and stuff a bit scattered. Opportunities for double combos. Ooh, but that's a big misplay out in column 1, John.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to make it so perhaps Frank is going to have to spend a lot of time just clearing that garbage. I don't see any other way unless he is thinking of going from below upwards. But that's going to give Savage exactly the time that she needs to start just bring that this advantage into something more manageable, as she's also getting the right pills for playing her board, which is countering what happened on level 16.
She's narrowed the margin to 5, although Frank's opened it back up to 10. I think he's just saving column 1 for last at this point. Meanwhile, Savage Octagon has a pretty well balanced board. Not a lot of blues, but can get some access to a couple more. She's also getting a really healthy dose of double reds right now, as another double red there, and yet another one just absolutely taking everything out. And now down to 11 viruses. But Frank manages to clean up column 1. He is going to be out. It is a 12-minute and 34-second finish for Frank. He takes game 1 in what was a nail-biting first game.
Yeah, I mean, that was back and forth and kept it very close until level 16, where the RNG really made Savage Octagon struggle there. I was thinking that earlier she would take with that the red surge a fat lock there with the reds that were in the middle, so the garbage that was on top and was blue would fall onto the blue bar that was below it. But it was difficult to see when you are trying to just clear things quickly. So yeah, I mean, the 12:59, not a bad time, about 25 seconds from Frank. So yeah, this is going to be game 1 for Frank.
And you also have to keep in mind, she was hanging up a double-digit lead on Frank at one point. So very good play in her own right, as we get Octagon reset for game number 2. Frank trying to get his first championship. Savage Octagon trying to be the first female player to win it all. We're going to get a new champion regardless. We got to get started on game 2. We're just getting a board reset from Octagon, and that's actually a PB for Savage Octagon. So well done to her, as she gets a quick reset here, and we go to level 13, and we just wait on readies from our players. All right, we are off. Game number 2. Octagon out of the gate first, and Frank next. A bit of an air bubble at the top of the board for Savage Octagon, and not the air bubble sort of in the middle of the board for Frank. And we're seeing good starts from both players.
Yeah, Savage Octagon right now, not much yellow to talk about, just the one virus, but utilizing the pills in the right way, noticing that she doesn't need to clear that yellow virus as there may come other pills that will work for that. Frank waited out any reds on the top line, however.
It is a 3-second difference on the timers between our two players, as it is an 8 virus sway right now in favor of Savage Octagon. Octagon just trying to maintain a diverse board. It's been a bit of a challenge as a bit of garbage is stacked on things. Don't know what happened there with that playing column 3.
I'm not sure either what happened there, but she's going to have to deal with that garbage eventually. I think that's the right way to go, and I mean at this point that 6 virus advantage is not getting reduced because Frank's top line is mostly blue at this point.
We've also seen we saw a neat little play I want to talk about a few moments ago from Frank. He had a double red in play, and we saw him hesitate for a second and put it over for a horizontal clear because he saw another double red that he could lay out to go for it. And it's a really nice little course correction, and you like seeing those from players because you don't necessarily see that play and you go, well, why did they put it there? You see the next pill. Anyways, it is a 7 virus advantage for Savage Octagon. She's down to her final 3, getting some really, really good RNG to end this level, and is going to try to get that red column cleared out. No, not stacking that. Interesting. Maybe potentially going for a horizontal clear. I don't know about that decision making, as now she's getting hammered by some really bad RNG. Could have been out of this level already, I think. But instead will be out at a 229. And as we hit 229 for Frank, he has 2 viruses to go, a bit of garbage he's clearing out. He'll be free and clear. But taking a look at Octagon's board here, an opportunity for a 0-drop quad and just a good stacking of viruses. I see a lot of doubles on that board potentially for Octagon. And nothing too big in free space on the board. Having that little free space in the right corner will be helpful. But we're seeing Frank go to town. Frank's board, kind of the same thing. Almost every one of his spaces on those bottom 3 rows have a virus in it. So going to see a lot of efficient plays at the end of this game for Frank. Meanwhile, it is a 7 virus lead for Savage Octagon as she's keeping the center of that board clean. Not a lot of blue for her to work with, John.
Yeah, and I love that analysis of their bottom of their bottles, as precisely Savage Octagon doesn't have anything on the corners, so that's helpful when you're trying to go for the end game. And Frank's bottle was like completely stacked on the bottom half, which is a weird situation to be in here in these high levels. But Frank managing to utilize the fact that everything was compact to not have a lot of drop time, while Savage Octagon is suffering right now because she's not getting any red, which is precisely the color that she needs to start opening her board.
And we've seen that affect of the outcome of what's going on right now, because it is a double-digit lead now for Frank, although we had a small red surge from Savage Octagon. Absolutely frustratingly bad RNG for a segment there, as it is a 10 virus lead for Frank here in the second game.
Yeah, I mean, it's you can try to stack stuff on top of those viruses and try to play in a creative way, but there is only so much you can do, and then eventually you do need the one color that you've been waiting for. So far, Savage Octagon still keeping it close to Frank, who now needs a lot of red help on his board.
He does need a lot of red help, and also has a bit of he addressed a lot of the stuff on his left side. He's left his Right side very, very much exposed, though. Not a lot of stuff for him to get through, as now he's getting a double red surge. Octagon trying to surge here, making a misplay in column 7. She's going to have to start working around that as we hit 5 minutes, 4 viruses to go. I think the play here is, if you're Frank, is to get the blue horizontally. It doesn't look like that's going to be the plan, but he's going to go vertically the whole way down. Bit of a risky strat, as you get buried in a corner. It can spell a lot of disaster, but he does have that alternate column set up, and it doesn't matter. He gets the double red out at 5:23.
Yeah, I mean, Frank getting a little bit lucky there, which is also something that every Dr. Mario player should have as a weapon. As Savage Octagon having to maneuver around the misplay on the right side, she manages to clear it up, and now it's that left side, which is set up very compactly. She tried to talk that, but gravity wouldn't allow it.
And it doesn't seem to matter too terribly much. As we're looking at Frank's board, Frank doesn't have a lot of air bubbles and has a lot of vertical doubles, which is huge. Get those vertical 1 pill clears. It's 40 viruses to 64 for Savage Octagon. As looking at Octagon's board, a lot of yellow early to start, and a lot of stuff nicely stacked in the middle. The middle game is going to be very, very crucial. That end game is going to be a bit problematic.
Yeah, but once again, Savage Octagon trying to play creatively, but running out of plays at this point. And I mean, yeah, that's going to drop the yellow. Unfortunately, she's not going to be able to do that horizontal, and she might have to find another way to reach that left side. Oh, perfect timing for that.
Big combo for Savage Octagon, fixing what looked to be a very, very rough level for her. Brilliant sweet tea. A little too much sugar in there, but still managing to get the clear. As we hit 7 minutes, it is 13 viruses to go. Frank firmly in the driver's seat right now. Seems to have hit a groove, as it is a 26 virus lead for the 1 seed.
I mean, after that rough RNG that Savage Octagon has had to deal with, you could almost say that double yellow coming right at that point was well deserved, just for handling whatever Dr. Mario was throwing her way. So yeah, I mean, at least we got to see that beautiful combo there. But in the meantime, Frank manages to get out of level 15 with 7:26 on the clock.
And a weird board for Frank. Rows 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, all full of viruses. This top line really, really weird. There's a full row and then hardly anything in the 2 rows below it. It'll be interesting to see how Frank addresses this. Oh, he's in danger of topping out. He gets that drop combo. That was very, very scary.
Yeah, I mean, Frank knows what he's doing, but you don't want to also be playing that high up. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Frank deals with this. Perhaps trying to dig a well to start playing horizontally in some places where there are doubles already set up. But yeah, we'll have to see what's the game plan on his board. Meanwhile, Savage, trying to open up the last viruses on her board and try to get out of here as fast as possible. Just need some help from Red. Yeah, there's really not a way to play these viruses efficiently given the configuration that they are at right now. Yeah, going for that horizontal first, then yeah, that right side. Probably not want to leave that big falling gap, but she manages to tuck in and gets out of level 15 right under 9 minutes.
Meanwhile, looking at Frank's board, Frank with a diverse line. It's a bit slanted going from right to left, but 36 viruses to go. A 30 virus lead for the 1 seed right now. Octagon's board looking a bit troublesome. Not a lot of blue at the top, and already a bit of a top-out danger. It looks like she worked her way around it, though.
Yeah, needing mostly red and yellow at this point. Blue is a bit of a problem once that blue goes away. There's that double blue there, but maybe she will want to address that one horizontally. Oh yeah, perfect timing for that double.
And we're going to get a long L. Long L there from Octagon, that's going to put her down to 53. But Frank really starting to surge away here. Has built that lead up to over 40 at this point.
Nice, that combo, beautiful from Savage Octagon, getting the right pills at the right time. Another cross combo there from Savage Octagon. She's getting kind of SNES RNG there with lots of doubles to combo into.
And Frank is going to be out. He's just looking for that triple clear. He's going to be out at 10-16 going into the final stage here. Lots of air bubbles scattered throughout. He's got that T block, he's got that S block, and he's got whatever's going on down in those final 4 rows. So he's going to have to suffer a little bit of drop time. Meanwhile, Octagon, 28 viruses to go here. Good clustered board, a lot of double opportunities, 1 pill clears as she continues to just try to surge and get back into this game, maybe hoping for a top out or some sort of disaster on Frank's side.
I mean, at this point, you're just hoping to the RNG goats that something happens on Frank's side and gives you just enough time to try and catch up. Because at this point, Savage Octagon is down 1-0, and it's going down 2-0 makes things much more difficult.
42 viruses to go on 17, a dozen viruses to go on 16. Octagon just really trying to avoid getting lapped at this point as we hit the 11.5 minute mark. Octagon just looking for some favorable RNG. That's a good drop, getting another combo, getting the yellows off the board. 1 yellow left to play. Meanwhile, Frank setting something up here, getting a good garbage combo, setting up some reds. Good setup for Frank.
Yeah, in there, Savage Octagon had to decide whether to go for the horizontal or go for whether it was yellow or blue, and she's going to get just the right pill there to go for the blue horizontal and get out of level 16 at 11:57.
So no lapping for Octagon, but and it does look like with 19 viruses to go, it will be game 2 to Frank. But Octagon has been playing very, very well, just getting smacked by really, really rough RNG.
I mean, I think this is the time to just start, going as aggressive as possible for Savage Octagon. It's going to be very difficult because Frank has been playing also very precisely. It's looking like it's Frank's game to lose at this point, and it doesn't seem like it's going to happen.
As we hit just over 12.5 minutes, we're seeing Frank making some just very quick, efficient plays. Already down to his final 5 viruses as Savage Octagon continues to try to fight through, trying to get to the sub 50 range, now at 51, but Frank just needs a couple of reds and he will be out, and it will be a 12-minute and 58-second finish for Frank. He takes game number 2.
Yeah, unfortunate for Savage Octagon now having to try and sweep if she wants to get the championship, and Frank only needing 1 more game to get the Mario Monthly of April. Savage, having to deal with some rough RNG wheel side, and she tried her best, but she's going to have to make it happen in 3 games if she really wants it.
All right, well, we're going to get our players set up here for this 3rd game. Frank trying to close the door here. The rest of the chat looking for a reverse sweep. It seems like the chat very firmly in Savage Octagon's corner as we get to our 3rd game here. Frank may be about 13 minutes away from his first ever win.
This is what happens when people have fake internet money in it. They want to see the reverse sweep.
All right, we are just waiting on a ready from both players here. Ready from Frank. And a ready from Octagon. We just need a countdown, and we'll get to our 3rd game, and here it goes. 3, 2, 1, and go.
And we're off.
And we are off. 56 viruses here to start on level 13, and it just gets more and more wild the further we go on. Octagon and Frank both off to good starts here. A good tuck clear and a good double column clear as it's very, very close, hand in hand right now, these two players are, as Octagon getting a big, big double blue. Great drop, setting everything up well underneath.
I mean, she's setting up on top of those horizontals and just taking care of them very nicely. I'm liking the way that she's playing. Frank also doing the same on his side, just waiting for the right pills to get the least amount of drop time, and I mean, keeping the top line very even on both boards.
Meanwhile, Octagon at 36, Frank at 31. Frank with the early lead, but we're seeing really good plays from both players. Good clean boards from both of them as well. Looks like Savage struggled a bit to think about that red-blue, and that cost her a little bit of time. 27 to 33, a half a virus lead for Frank. Frank running into an issue where he's going to be getting limited red access.
Yeah, there. If Savage Octagon had gotten a red blue, I think it was, it would have been very helpful, but it didn't happen. So yeah, she had to just call it quits on that combo and start just grinding it in another way.
Frank also juggling this big pile of garbage, as we see, and that might have been a misplay over in column 2, as he's trying to drop some things down and get that yellow health. He may also be setting up for a big combo. We don't know. What we do know is it is now a tie game again, as Octagon has started making some clears. Frank struggling on that left side, maybe setting up again for a big wombo combo. We just don't know. It is a bit of a lead now for Frank, as it is 2 minutes here in this third match in this finals.
Yeah, both players suffering in different ways. On the one side, Frank, that left side, he was trying to use as just like the garbage disposal plays, but not finding easy ways to play with it. I mean, the viruses that are below it are not going to be much problem. Meanwhile, Savage on that left side not addressing the garbage that's on top of those red viruses, and now it's the time when the depths are due.
And she is a bit of a misplay. Don't know about that. She's going to get the fat log, but at what cost? As that blue garbage, all it does is fall down a little bit. Really needing some blue help if you're Savage Octagon. Going to get a little bit of help over in column 2, getting that horizontal clear down to 4, but really struggling here in this end game as Frank's starting to pull away.
Yeah, Savage Octagon wanted to go for maybe a double there, but the double blue didn't come on time, and she had to just pull the plug on it. Savage Octagon managed to get out of there at 3:14, a bit of a slow 13 so far.
Slice of humble pie is not what you want when you finish at that time, but it is what happened. Octagon electing to go for that triple horizontal as we hit 3.5 minutes. It is a 11 virus lead right now for the 1 seed, as he is looking to get his first ever championship win. And it looks like Octagon, it feels like Octagon with some of these plays just maybe simply running out of gas.
Yeah, perhaps just thinking about what's going to happen next, and then realizes too late that she missed an input. It's also the struggle of going already to game 3. This is very tiring. 3 games, 5 levels in each one of them, and then before that, going in the semifinals. It's really taking a toll on both 4 players.
And I mean, like we say, you need to just maintain a good pace on this. You don't need to be down pressing. You just want to be making good, consistent plays at this juncture in the tournament, because one mistake can really, really set you back. But it is a 15 virus lead right now for Frank, as we hit 4.5 minutes on the clock. Again, Frank just needs to win, and he's done. He wins. He wins the whole thing. Savage Octagon needing to win 3 consecutive games. And when we say that running out of gas thing, to be able to have the ability to take 3 away when, it just feels like you're exhausted, just so rough on you.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a great run so far from Savage, but I mean, I understand how it goes. I mean, we're here also just watching the games, it also is it is quite a fit. So I can understand where our players are right now.
Frank out of 14 at about a 509. Octagon not too far behind. Has some good plays here. That double blue is very opportunist. Dar's saying if Frank's play was a song, it would be everything in its right place from Radiohead. I think some of our viewers may be too old for that, so now I feel old. Anyways, we're at 5.5 minutes. Octagon just needing a couple of reds, and she will be out. And there it is at a 5:36. So less than 30 seconds behind as far as the clock goes. But it has been all Frank right now, but Frank now limited in his blue access.
And Savage once again having to deal with some rough RNG. She needs some yellow in order to start grinding down at this board, but here it comes, finally getting that nice little combo there.
And a drop T by Frank, that's going to put him at 35 viruses here as we hit the 6-minute mark. Level 15, the center point of this third game, or yes, this third game. I do know how to count. And we are watching our 1 seed, Frank, on the left, our 14 seed, Savage Octagon on the right. Frank had to claw through some pretty good competition to get here. He had to beat my partner here in the booth to get to round 2. He had to beat one of our perennially good players in Leviticus in the second round, and then had to take on the reigning champ, Packy, just to get here.
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't been an easy path for Frank. Well, most of it. And but also there's Savage Octagon, who took out some of the biggest names in the tournament in Dimwit and DM Hero, and then also Watchma, one of the newcomers that has just been changing the scene in just a couple of months.
So, a very, very well-deserved appearance here by both players. As we hit the 7-minute mark, it's 16 viruses to go for Frank, 35 viruses to go for Savage Octagon, as Octagon really just struggling again with the RNG and potential misplays, and a very blue top line right now, as it's almost exclusively blue, and a big well as well. Really just trying to struggle to get through this.
Yes, Savage Octagon currently not addressing the fact that she needs to open up lines that aren't blue. Making a lot of setup plays, but right now it's not the time for that. You want to start opening up some other stuff. And yes, she has to take that blue-red thing there just to have somewhere to play anything.
As we hit the 8-minute mark, Frank leaves at about 7:49. He needs 2 levels. Octagon needs 16 and 2 levels here. As we hit 8 minutes, Octagon with a very red-heavy board, making some good plays to keep the board clean, though. I do like it, as she's going to try to get some horizontal clears and get those yellows off the board.
Yeah, I think that yellow, definitely that's the right play to go for a horizontal. Not very convinced, it seems, but there's really not other alternatives at this point, unless you want to spend a lot of time just digging your way around.
8.5 minutes now elapsed, 54, now 51 viruses for Frank. 4 viruses to go on 15, as Octagon a bit on the struggle bus trying to get out of this level here. Looks like she'll be free and clear on everything once again. Meanwhile, Frank with limited blue access. We're seeing how this works out for him, as we're almost at the 9-minute mark, and here comes Frank with a sweet tea, and he'll be at 40 viruses, 39 now as Octagon gets started with her initial 68 on 16.
Yeah, and don't forget to breathe when you are playing this. One gets too focused on it, and it's difficult to do other stuff. But yeah, you still have to be playing, and just trying to keep a good heart on it. Even though Savage Octagon right now getting hit once again by a bit of a weird RNG spell at the moment, while Frank just getting into single digits very, very soon here.
And you see Octagon is looking to make that tuck on that yellow-red up in row number 6. Didn't have the, momentum, for lack of a better term, to get it over there. And it almost felt like, it just didn't want to do it. And again, it comes down to potentially just being out of gas. It happens. at any competitive level or at any speedrun level is sometimes you just hit a wall, and there's not a whole lot you can do. But 32 viruses to go for Octagon, but it looks like Frank about to get out of here, and he's going to be 72 viruses away from his first ever victory, and the first ever person to win a tournament who is not named Dimwit or Packy.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It's very rare to have a final where neither Dimwit nor Packy are part of it. But I mean, this whole month of April has been just crazy, from the qualifiers all the way to the finals. It's been just a wild month, and don't expect for things to change. It's going to just get wilder from this point on.
Meanwhile, as we hit the 11-minute mark, it's 54 viruses to go on 17. Octagon just trying to get something going here. Frank's got a very red-heavy board, but as I'm seeing on rows 2, 3, 4, and 5, there's a lot of doubles, and I mean a lot of vertical doubles on that board. So Frank really going to get very efficiently out of here, but his yellow access is limited, John, as we get into the final legs here of this third game.
Yeah, Frank needs to start taking out some of that red that's on the top line, just to start playing other pills that are going to come his way. So he's managing to do that very nicely. Any red that he gets, he's playing it somewhere just to try and open up more lines of play. In this case, getting more red, so he was able to play on that right side.
Frank down to 21. Savage Octagon is going to get to 17. As we approach 12 minutes, but it is a 50-plus lead right now for Frank, as he's looking to just get out of here possibly under 13 minutes.
Yeah, Frank getting this end game, which is just beautiful if you are trying to speedrun this game. Getting exactly a lot of doubles, and just you can make quick work of this board.
And he will. He's looking to get this done in under 13 minutes. And it looks like he will. Just 2 more viruses to go, and it will be a new champion, as Frank just needs the red. And your 2021 April Speed Champion is Frank, with a 12-minute and 40-second finish. Savage Octagon, our runner-up, getting to level 17, putting up a great performance. Great job by both of these players, but Frank takes home the crown in very convincing fashion with a 3-0 sweep.
Unfortunately, the Cinderella run is over, but I mean, making it all the way from seed 14 to the finals is no easy feat, and definitely something to applaud Savage Octagon for. And also, well, let's applaud our new champion, Frank, whose debut was just what most of us were expecting.
And Frank and Savage, you're more than welcome to hop into a voice channel. We'll get you here into the booth if you had anything you wanted to say, closing things out, as we do with every one of our tournaments. But a fantastic tournament overall. We've seen some great upsets. We've seen dominance out of Frank, and it's been the close to our first year of speedrun tournaments. What started as just a thought with some folks here, as we have Savage Octagon joining us in the booth. We've finished a year of this, and we've seen some crazy finishes. And speaking of crazy finishes, Savage Octagon, our runner-up, how are you?
Wow! That was so great.
I noticed at the end of that, you looked more relieved than anything. Talk us through that.
Oh, sure. I mean, going from the second semifinal almost straight into the final, that's a lot of pills falling in front of your eyes. It's
a lot of pressure, definitely. I don't see Frank showing up here, but I mean, you have to know, especially seeing with how Frank has been playing, that was going to be easily the biggest challenge you faced all tournament.
Oh, of course. Actually, 100% did not expect to win. Watching Frank play like a beast. But man, it was really an honor to play. I'm really excited to watch back those matches. I learned some things about my own style of play, and he is just amazing. So it's an honor.
We saw some really great plays on both sides. There was a really good recovery you had. I believe it was in game one, where you just had a bit of a struggle and then turned it into a big yellow T and set up an even more of a combo there. I'm sure somebody clipped it, but it was a fantastic run. You know, and you had the big win in round one against Dimwit, and you know, any player who says, "Well, I took out one of the best players in round one," who cares what happens the rest of the way? And look where he ended up.
Thank you so much. It was great. Thank you for all the support.
It sounds like Frank doesn't have a mic, but he says he's too excited to say anything. He originally streamed to get speedrun proof. He was so never bothered to get one, but he does say GG. And GG to all of our players. We had over 20 players compete and try to qualify for the brackets. I mean, you see my name's not on there. This is my first month where I'm on the outside looking in. But it's just been phenomenal to see this level of talent increase. But that's all we've got for you. I promise there's no fourth game that we're going to come back and play for our next stream. But our qualifiers for May, our 1 year anniversary, will be starting in just a little bit here. But we look forward to having each and every one of our competitors. We'll have live qualifiers for you as well. Don't forget to join our Discord, folks. We've got a speedrun league or a versus league starting. That's just started. If you ever want to watch that, but we've got a invite to our Discord in the description, and we've also got one for you right here in the chat. And please join us. I mean, we've got events going on all week long, so it'd be great to have you. But that's all we've got for you today. John Nash, any parting thoughts?
Oh, I mean, I only want to say thanks to everyone for making this tournament so amazing. The level has shown to be increasing, and yeah, we'll have to see what happens for the 1 year anniversary. But I'm sure it's going to be just as well as it has been this month.
Absolutely. Well, anyways, folks, that's all we've got for you. If you want to follow my partner here in the booth, John Nash 4th, it's twitch.tv/John Nash 4th. If you want to follow either of our finalists, it's twitch.tv/Frank_FC and then Savage_Octagon for our finalists. If you want to follow our tech, Benji, great Tetris player, I think he'll win it all this year. That's right. He's going to win the CTWC. Mark my words. You can follow him over at twitch.tv/B3NJY_B0I. If you like my commentary and my sultry dulcet tones, you could go over to twitch.tv/JBHenryXIV, where I play Dr. Mario and other things and scream at a lot of games. But anyways, folks, it's been so great to have you. We've had 59 of you stay with us throughout the whole thing.